Which one is a more running specific exercise? This or this? Hey guys, it's JP, and this time I'm going to shed some light on running specific exercise and why the answer to this question is a little more complex than it seems. Now, going back to the question, which is more running specific? The squat or the step up? Now, plenty of people would probably choose the step up, and that makes sense as the movement patterns involved can resemble certain aspects of running. If we zone into the quads, you'll notice that the quads work in a similar manner in this phase as they do during the descending aspect of the step up. And as your foot applies pressure to the ground, this can resemble a bit of how the quads work during the ascending aspect of the step up. However, just because one exercise looks more like running, it does not necessarily mean that it is more running specific than the other. Let me explain. I can go about this from different angles, but I want to keep this simple for the sake of the video. You can use exercises to address different aspects of running. One popular one is the movement pattern, which is working the muscles in a manner similar to how they move in the intended task. The question you would typically ask yourself here is, does the exercise look like the movement pattern seen in running? This is the first thing that comes to mind in most people's heads when they think of running specific exercises. That's why most people would have chosen the step up as the more running specific exercise. By incorporating exercises that look more like running, it might teach your muscles to move in a manner more specific for running. However, there is another category that tends to get underestimated. The other is addressing the forces that are involved in the task. This category is not so much about what movements take place, but rather takes into account the amount of forces that are imparted on particular areas of the body as you run. For example, forces around the quads can reach around 3 to 4 times your body weight as you run. When thinking about the magnitude of forces, you could argue that heavy squats can help prepare for those high forces and are therefore running specific. For example, by incorporating heavy resistance training, this may build capacity in the region to better prepare for the high amounts of force imparted on the body as you run. This is actually why you will notice high-level runners incorporating strength training. Now, so far, I brought up that you can incorporate exercises that look like running, as well as incorporate exercises that take into account the magnitude of forces involved in running. But you don't have to choose just one for a whole training program. For example, in the early phases of training, I can emphasize more heavy resistance training to build capacity in the body to handle the forces involved in running. Then, as the runner gets closer to race day, I would start to prioritize exercises that are quicker and look more like movement patterns seen in running. We basically built up the capacity of key muscle groups, then we focused on using them optimally for running. Now, it gets more complex than this, but I just wanted to get a point across. Now, if you have been following along, there might be one more thing you might be thinking about. Why don't I just choose exercises that look like running and reflect the magnitude of forces involved? While this might be great to incorporate when building capacity of the body, it might not be the best when getting toward race day where the focus is on speed and performance. This has to do with the relationship of load and velocity, but honestly, that will deserve its own video. Overall, the idea I want to shed light on is that exercises for runners do not just have to include ones that look like running. Exercises that prepare the body for the forces involved in running are also great for runners. And that's all for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, as well as any questions you may have. And as always, thank you for watching.